Coach, that was a pretty gutsy effort from your team. You jump out to the lead, then have to deal with that pushback from them. Just what can you say about your group and their resiliency tonight?
I thought we were, we competed to win tonight. That's what we did. Very similar to Game 4 in our building, and both of them, must wins for me. And our team responded. Hopefully we can do it one more time.
Colleen and Evan.
Nichushkin obviously showing some frustration last game and this morning. You said you weren't crazy about that. What does it say to him to come out tonight and score 2 goals?
I think it says a lot. I think, he kind of did the same thing in Game 4 as well. So I'll have a conversation with him tomorrow, and figure out how we get him to do that again in Dallas. Because, he's been exceptional in the home games and, frustrated in the road games. And so our whole team kind of has to think about, what's made them successful here, especially in the last couple games, and how do we carry that over to the road. That's a discussion we'll have with some individual guys, and I think also with our whole team.
Evan, Corey, and then Ryan.
That game-winning goal was fluky, to say the least. But you guys, do you feel like that's something you guys earned your bounces tonight with just how much pressure you were putting on the other team?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I would like to think that on a regular night, most nights, 99% of the nights, that the chances we got in the second period that we put a few of those in. Because that was probably the most dangerous we've been the whole series in that period. And creating slot chances, rush, ozone play, and we're coming up empty, right? Ottinger's making big saves. Their team's making some nice plays. We're missing some nets from grade A spots. And you just got to keep doing it. And you got to keep getting there, and eventually something's going to break. Like last game, they get the first goal, and the second goal they got. Like, those are lucky bounces. They earned them. Tonight we got them. We earned them.
Corey, then Ryan, and Pat.
You had several guys tonight who showed up on the score sheet who have either played well and not scored, or just not played it well at the time. Just how important was it to get some of the other guys involved?
Like who in particular?
Like Netchis and McCarr and Val and Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've talked about Kale, and I told you I wasn't worried about him. And again, I mean, he's getting into some, second period. He has, I know he makes a great pass on the one goal, but he's getting himself into the right areas and getting great looks and great shots. And Ottinger's kind of had his number. Gets on the board tonight. I think Neckash was highly competitive, skied in good puck decisions, managed the puck really well tonight. I think that's the best game that he's had in this series, so it's great to see him get rewarded for that. We'll need a big game out of him in Dallas. Brock, I feel like Brock's been playing really well on both sides of the puck, and a lot like Game 4, he was dangerous and helping set up his teammates and getting a couple opportunities for himself. And I know he wants to contribute. He just kind of stuck with it and got it done. So, that's the theme of our team. Like, you can't go away. You just got to keep chipping away and battling to get better and keep grinding and finding ways to get those looks that you need. And you got to stay responsible on the defensive side of it. And even though I felt like we were carrying the play in the second period, we made some mistakes, and it wasn't laziness. It was just we stopped doing some of the defensive things that we need to do that we talk about all the time. We stopped doing them as hard as we were doing them, in the first period and in the third period, and it cost us because they do not need a lot of scoring chances to score goals.
Ryan, Pat, and Sean.
You battle through it and you get the result. Just thoughts on Blackwood tonight?
Yeah, well, the goals we gave up were really dangerous shots from really dangerous places. And I thought that he settled in after that again and was really good for us. And I think on a lot, so I think he was good. I think on a lot of nights that he's been better for us, but I did like his response after last game. Coming out, he battled hard, and I expect him to continue to do the same thing.
Pat, Sean, Pierre.
Coach, Gabe obviously had a couple assists today. Was this maybe one of his better games since he's been back? And have you noticed? I mean, it just seems like he's seamlessly integrated himself into this now.
I think that was his best game for sure. I think, like I said before, I was pleasantly surprised with how well he played on both sides of the puck in game one. And I said this, and I mean this, and I know this, that he's just going to get better and better the more he plays and the more comfortable he gets. And 3 years is a long time. And we've seen it even just from his first game to his second game, and now tonight, like he's getting better in a lot of areas. I think he's feeling more comfortable. Confidence is coming back, and he started at a high level already in game one, which was, like I said, a pleasant surprise for me.
Sean and Pierre.
Pete's come in here and he's talked about it's us against the world. Nobody picked us. That kind of narrative. How do you fight? How do you?
But they finished third overall in the
They
league.
hadn't looked at the standings, but
Yeah.
how do you? But the point being, how do you fight that desperation when that's the mentality? You talked about taking that back on the road, and I wonder if you know what kind of team you're going to get some of these nights this series.
Yeah, I think that hey, like you build a narrative for your team to like grab onto, and listen, they're playing without Heiskanen and they're playing without Robertson. And they've had other guys step up and elevate their game. They're deep. This is a deep team. They finished where they finished for a reason, and they win. Even when they're not at their best, they win doing things like they did in the second period tonight. They got playmakers. They got a lot of guys that can score consistently. They check hard. They got a great goalie. They're well coached. Like this is a deep team. But we have our own narrative too, right? Like we feel like we're a team. That can win. We feel like we're a team that can win, and but you got to go prove it. And it just so happens in the new NHL that you're, especially in the Central Division. No disrespect to the other divisions, but I look at the teams that we got to play on a regular basis and the teams you got to get through to just get to a conference final. You could be playing, the third best team, the best team, and you got like teams that are up and coming that are obviously doing a really nice job in Minnie, St. Louis, Utah. Like it's a deep division. I just think for us, we have belief, and we're not going to give up on that. We got to go play another game to the best of our ability and give it everything we got, and against another team that's going to try and do the exact same thing.
Last three, Pierre, Eric, John.
Jared, to that point, I mean, if the Jets win tomorrow in St. Louis, you'll be the only series going 7 in the first round of the playoffs. And if someone would have picked the series, it might have been yours to go 7. The quality of the competition, two teams that a lot of people view as top 5 in the entire league, playing right off the bat. I mean, can you, in the moment, sort of take stock of the quality of this series, of this matchup, and of these two teams, and what's on display Saturday night?
Yeah, I think it's what we were expecting all along. I mean, like no one's given Dallas a chance, like all that kind of stuff. Like, when does it change? That narrative flips back and forth daily. No one gave us a chance in the series after Game 3, and here we are sitting here going to Game 7. Then you win Game 4, and then like the Avs are automatically going to win the series, and then we lose Game 5, and no one gives us a chance again. So it's like we can't follow that stuff. We have to trust the belief that we have. We know like that. We've played them enough to know that they're a really good team, and we feel like we are too. And we knew it was going to be a really tough series, and like there's no use crying about it. Like every year, like it's not 1 versus 16 or 1 versus 8. It's you're playing top teams in the whole league right out the gate and every round if you want to get to where you want to go. So you got to play your best at 2 week stretches, and it's like almost like survival, and nothing else, and that's what you're trying to do. You're playing for your life every night.
Eric and John.
Jared, from our perspective, like not hearing what the conversations are like on the bench in the room, hundreds of feet away, like it really did feel like no matter how many goals Dallas had, no matter how many times they fought back and then they got the lead, that you guys didn't once feel down. Like the shots kept going, the chances kept going. How did you guys do that to come out of the second intermission and continue to do what you were doing, even when Dallas made it 3-3 to continue to get those chances?
Well, we just kept trying to talk about our process. And, like, there was enough good going on in the game, enough chances that we were creating, you know, their goalies making big saves. It's like we just felt like we stuck with it. It would eventually, you got to get one. And that's not a guarantee. But you have to believe that it is. And our guys, I think that's a little bit of growth in our team, like, because we've had some years where we get in games or we want it so bad that we like freeze up a little bit, and we're really trying hard not to do that this year. You know, no matter what the stakes, just you go and give it everything you got, and hopefully you get your result, and you fight right to the bitter end. And so, like, that's just kind of what we've been talking about, and trying to get everyone bought into it and not get in your head. Just stay in the moment and keep doing what you're doing whether things are going good or bad. You know, I think our guys are pretty clear on what they're supposed to do and what we want them to do and how hard it's going to be. And, you know, hopefully Dallas is bringing the best out in us.
John, finish.
Coach, this week you said pressure is a privilege. So what's Game 7 to the Avs?
I mean, I think it's huge. I mean, because you don't know what road lies ahead, and, you know, obviously both teams have a lot of belief, and you're, like I said, it's survival, right? You're just trying to go play the best you can for that game and leave it all out on the ice and survive and just earn another chance to get even more pressure. It's like, I don't know, it's like some sort of playoffs is so fun and so, but it's the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. I mean, that's what it is, and you're trying to get as many of those highs as you possibly can. Thanks.